I still like that one a lot.
I have been curious. I was thinking about this today, actually. I was like, which Hololive girl would end up being Justin's Oshi? Like, if I finally like got him down the rabbit hole. And I actually want David Portnoy to ring in because he's the only other like Hololive fan in our listenership. But like, because at first I was like, I think it would be Mokoko because she's got the cool leather jacket, but she's a little bit too like cutesy.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, but Bae is like, she's like really outspoken and like she's got a lot of similar like game taste as you, and she's the one that I told you where like she was playing like Valhalla, and she definitely like had like some like very like I am not okay with all the sexual talk vibes, and I was like, I could see Justin being into watching her. That's possible. But I am very curious.
Yeah, I know what the fundamental disconnect for me is with that stuff. And I can share it if you want.
Yeah, I'm curious because like it's definitely not for everybody, and like you know it was for me like it started with just watching like a couple like animated clips of some of the girls.
So I will not deny that some of it is quite fun and funny and whatnot, and I do not mind watching them in clips. But I get the same feeling when I watch it as when I see someone in cosplay, where I'm kind of dying inside, but I know what they're doing is I'm like, this is cool, but I feel really weird about it and I don't like it. And that's the disconnect for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like it has that same vibe.
For me, like it's the same as like if I'm watching like Pat or Wooly.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I see it's like if it's for me, it's like watching Pat or Wooly, but they're dressed up as the X-Men for no reason. And I'm like, I can't. Like if it was just them, like I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's not, so it weirds me out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I land on it.
No, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And that's just me being me.
Yeah, because for me, and also the other thing I think is that I think for a lot of like fans of VTubers, like there is kind of like a who am I most attracted to type of mentality to it, where that's not my thing.
Yeah,
like, I don't give a shit about like what the characters look like. It's more about the vibe, and that's kind of more.
Absolutely.
I did mention Mokoko's jacket because like I could see you like being
oh yeah,
cool jacket.
That's always my it always seems so. I always make that joke when I talk about the dating simulator, the Chinese ones, because there always is a character that has one, and they're always the stereotype of like if we're doing the speed dating version of like because that's basically what these games are. They're just speed dating, and that's what's funny about it. Like we're doing the speed dating version of like how to get me on board. That's like the fucking base right there. Now we have the short leather jacket established, and whatever is left here, okay, and they're pissed off at things. Great, we're in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because that I would be like, oh, no, you might be a Crony fan like I am, because she's one of my top 3, and her thing like she's just like so
could be
her whole vibe is just like so like over it all the time.
Oh, I need to specify 2 things about the hang up that I just said. I think those guys are very talented and they're hilarious. All the clips Julian has sent me are great. Like I really think they're funny.
Yeah.
And I heavily respect what they do. And cosplay I think is awesome and has a lot of work going into it. But for some reason, both things have the same feeling. I don't know how to describe that other than that.
I totally get it because there's also like a certain type of fan that makes me cringe, where it's just like they're a little bit too into it.
Yes.
And I can't really explain it until I see it, and then there's actually a dude at the Frank Welker and Peter Cullen panel when I was at Dallas Expo in front of me. Who he was next to a guy and because I was on the aisle like next to the mic and he was talking to the guy and it's like, oh, I've got this question that's like, man, I can't wait to say it. Like it's I think it's gonna be a really great question. He was like almost like vibrating with excitement. At one point, like he was like he started to rush to the mic because he thought it was time for people to stand up and it wasn't time yet. It was just like there was just something about his whole demeanor that I was like, dude, you need to like take it down about like 13 notches just to get down to a 10. But at the same time, it's like, but I get it. Like, you know, you're really into it. Like, you know, and it's a weird thing for me too. Like when I'm talking to somebody about like something that I'm into, and it's like partway through the conversation, like, oh, you're on a completely different level.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You ever been there? Oh boy.
I don't know if I can keep going here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, no, I totally get it.
Yes. Yes.
You know, actually, it's been very illuminating with like the current Gamer Looks at 40 series, right? Where it's like, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, and then I'm listening to like the other people talking about it. It's like, I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan. Like,
right.
You know, I'm barely even like a casual at this point. Like,
nah,
you know.
You still are, but there are different levels of it, you know?
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I am at like the bottom.
Yep.
Like, like my only claim to fame is that I've played them all.
Right. That's totally a thing, man.